Billie Holiday, renowned for her iconic voice and enduring influence on jazz music, faced numerous challenges throughout her life. Beyond navigating the pervasive racism of the showbiz industry and enduring tumultuous personal relationships, Holiday battled addiction to alcohol and drugs. Tragically, she passed away at the age of 44 in 1959 from cirrhosis. At the time of her death, reports indicated she had a mere 70 cents in her bank account, starkly contrasting with the $750, $8,000, £6,000 today, reportedly strapped to her leg. Despite the thousands who attended her funeral, generously paid for by a devoted fan, Holiday remained without a tombstone for almost a year due to her strained finances and estrangement from her husband. Judy Garland. Judy Garland was just 16 years old when she won the role of Dorothy Gale in The Wizard of Oz, a pivotal moment that launched her into global stardom and a lifelong career in Hollywood. Throughout her illustrious career, Garland starred in enduring classics such as Meet Me in St. Louis 1944, A Star is Born 1954, and Judgment at Nuremberg 1961, while also making her mark as a recording artist with several acclaimed studio albums. Despite her professional achievements, Garland faced profound personal struggles with addiction and mental health issues. Tragically, she passed away from an accidental overdose in 1969 at the age of 47. Despite working non-stop since childhood, Garland was around $4 million, around $33 million, £26 million today, in debt to the U.S. Internal Revenue Service (IRS) at the time of her death. The IRS even seized her home shortly after she died. Veronica Lake, once a radiant star of Hollywood's golden age, saw her meteoric rise overshadowed by personal demons. Her career faltered under the weight of alcoholism and schizophrenia, leading to financial ruin. In 1951, she and her then-husband Andre Detaille faced bankruptcy after the IRS seized their home for unpaid taxes. By 1962, Lake's circumstances had deteriorated to the point where she was reportedly making ends meet as a cocktail waitress in New York City. Tragically, the once glamorous icon passed away at the age of 50, destitute and battling hepatitis. In 1973, her story serves as a poignant reminder of the highs and lows that can accompany fame in the unforgiving world of show business. Elvis Presley. The undisputed king of rock and roll left behind a complex financial legacy upon his untimely death from a heart attack at just 42 years old in 1977. Despite his immense fame and fortune during his career, Elvis had only $5 million, $25 million, £17 million today in his bank account at the time of his passing. In fact, he passed away owing double that amount to the IRS in unpaid taxes after years of extravagant spending and drug addiction. As inheritors of the estate, Elvis's ex-wife Priscilla and his father Vernon were left to foot the enormous tax bill. Priscilla worked tirelessly to turn the estate around, later transforming Elvis's beloved Graceland home into a major tourist attraction. As a result, the estate was worth an incredible $100 million to $111 million, £166 million today by the time it was passed down to the couple's daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, in 1993. Lisa Marie herself was reportedly $4 million, £3 million in the red at the time of her sudden death in January 2023, with more than half of the debt owed to the IRS. Marvin Gaye. Celebrated as the Prince of Soul for his unforgettable hits like Let's Get It On and I Heard It Through the Grapevine, attained iconic status in music history. With over 20 studio albums, he profoundly influenced the Motown genre and beyond. However, despite his musical success and legendary status, Gaye faced financial hardships. In 1976, he filed for bankruptcy, signaling the beginning of a downward spiral in his personal and financial life. In a horrific turn of events, Gaye was murdered by his own father on the 1st of April 1984, the day before his 45th birthday. At the time of his death, the singer was $9.2 million, around $27 million, £21 million today in debt, which included several million dollars of back taxes owed to the IRS, depression, to failed marriages, and addiction issues were largely blamed for his money woes. The only assets he still had were his intellectual properties, such as song royalties, image rights, and life story rights, which he left to his 3 children, although his debts had to be paid off before his heirs could profit. Fortunately, savvy marketing of Gaye's music rights eventually cleared his dues, and today his estate is said to be worth a cool $5 million for £1 million. Sammy Davis Jr. Yet despite raking in millions each year, Davis was flat broke when he passed away from cancer in 1990. After years of extravagant overspending, he reportedly owed around $7 million, $16 million, £13 million today in taxes to the IRS. Following his death, royalties from Davis's film and TV appearances, as well as from the sales of his records and memorabilia, were paid directly to the IRS until his debts were cleared. Harry Nilsson. Singer-songwriter Harry Nilsson rose to fame with infectious hits like Jump Into the Fire and Coconut. At the time of his death, he was burdened with debts totaling $1 million, around $2.1 million, £1.7 million today, leading his estate to declare bankruptcy. His legacy endures through his influential music, despite the financial hardships he faced in his later years. Nilsson, who was born with heart problems, died of heart failure in 1994 when he was 52 years old. At the time of his death, he was burdened with debts totaling $1 million, around $2.1 million, £1.7 million today, leading his estate to declare bankruptcy. His legacy endures through his influential music, despite the financial hardships he faced in his later years. Corey Haim. Former child star Corey Haim launched his acting career back in 1981, at the tender age of 10. In 1987, the teen became a household name after his performance in the classic 80s movie The Lost Boys. His on-screen success continued into the early 90s, with roles in flicks such as Dream a Little Dream 1989 and Fast Getaway 1994. By the mid-90s, however, Haim's once promising career had started to decline due to his battle with drug addiction. The actor filed for bankruptcy protection in 1997, listing debts for medical bills and revealing that he owed more than $200,000, $381,000, £299,000 today in state and federal taxes. Haim, who passed away from pneumonia in 2010 at the age of 38, was so destitute at the time of his death that his family had to ask his fans to help cover his funeral costs. Andy Gibb was the younger brother of Barry, Robin, and Maurice Gibb, the siblings who formed the pop group the Bee Gees. He embarked on a solo career and shot to stardom when his 1978 album Shadow Dancing went multi-platinum, with the title track reaching the top of the charts. Sadly, Gibb's promising music career was derailed by depression and addiction. Gibb checked into a rehab facility in the 1980s in an effort to turn things around, but by 1987 he'd declared bankruptcy. The following year, the tragic star died from a heart condition called myocarditis, believed to have been caused by years of substance abuse. He was just 30 years old. Gary Coleman. Gary Coleman skyrocketed to fame at the age of 10 when he landed a lead role in sitcom Different Strokes in 1978. During the show's 8-season run, he became the highest-paid child star on TV at the time, banking an incredible $70,000 per episode, around $200,000, £157,000 in today's money. Despite a relatively steady stream of acting gigs, Coleman was hit hard by money problems and, in 1989, he sued his parents and former business manager for mismanagement of his wealth. He was awarded $1.3 million, $3 million, to million pounds today in 1993, describing the lawsuit as an enormous burden to me over the past 4 years. Despite this payday, Coleman was still forced to file for bankruptcy protection in 1999 after he struggled to find work. In 2010, at just 42 years old, Coleman died after suffering a brain hemorrhage. Reports suggest that he was worth just $75,000, £59,000 at the time of his death, a far cry from his glory days as the highest-paid child on television.